Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be speaking about Google, the one product which is in your palm and that is most useful to you almost every hour of your working day. I doubt if life would be the same without the Google search engine web page. I'm sure you all agree. But did you ever think of how Google actually works? Did you ask yourself, how did this company come about? Who were the founders? And how did they get this idea? Interesting questions, isn't it? Well, let's learn today about the key aspects of Google. My presentation is titled, How did GOOGOL become Google? Do you know what is GOOGOL? Well, GOOGOL is the term used in arithmetic to describe 1 followed by 100 zeros. That is GOOGOL. And that was the inspiration for the name Google. And why were the founders worried about 1 followed by 100 zeros? Because they were on a mission when they founded this company to organize the world's information, make it accessible and useful. And when they started with the idea in the mid-90s, the World Wide Web already had more than 1 million pages. In fact, it had millions of pages of web pages. But these web pages were of little use because they were not easily to be found. And that was the problem which they took upon to optimize, to solve, to innovate and find a way to make it scalable, universal and accessible. Searching web pages at your fingertip easily when you need it on demand. This was the core of what they were trying to create in the mid-90s. So let's take a look at who are the founders of this fantastic and very powerful invention and company. The original founder, the initial idea generator was Larry Page, who was a student at the Stanford University, and he was a PhD student in computer science. And he was exploring on various areas where he could research for his PhD. And among the areas that he researched, the most interesting topic that challenged him and intrigued him was organizing the web pages, the millions of web pages on the internet. So, Larry Page started working on the idea, and the project that he put together for his research was called as BackRub. And he used his computing skills to come up with algorithms that would provide page ranking for all the web pages within a database. That means he built an algorithm or a spider which crawled the web database. It mined the data and came up with a search result by ranking the pages. But as he went along this journey, whatever he had built had reached its limit. And by that time, he had already made friends with his colleague on campus in Stanford, a person called as Sergey Brin. Sergey Brin was a Russian computer scientist studying in Stanford, and he was an explorer. He was constantly looking for new challenges, and he was seeking complexity and challenges that would engage him and allow him to test his intellectual capability. So both of them found each other, and great minds think alike, they say. So Sergey Brin helped Larry Page to further improve using his own skills, and he improved the backrub algorithm and came up with a much more optimized, a lot more intelligent and scalable algorithm called as PageRank. PageRank, in a way, was the first commercialized algorithm for web search results, and PageRank is what was the starting foundation point for Google to be formed in September 1998. So that was the journey which started on the Stanford campus for a computer science PhD research project by Larry and Sergey. They were using Stanford campus infrastructure, computing resources, and finally, when they had perfected their product and come up with a usable and popular and accessible web search engine, they found an investor. The investor invested $100,000, based on which Google was founded in Menlo Park in September 98, Google Inc. This is how Google was born. So what is their product? What is Google's core product? The core product is SERP, Search Engine Results Page. Search Engine Results Page. The simple white background page that produces sponsored links as well as organic search results for anything that you enter in the search box. That is the product, and that is what they're offering to the world, and that is how the business was started in 98. And the PhD paper which they published, which at that time became one of the most downloaded papers, was titled The Anatomy of Large-Scale Hypertextual Web Search Engine. Well, there were internet companies even before Google, like Yahoo, for example. But the brilliance of Larry Page and Sergey Brin was that they chose to optimize a infinitely scalable solution to a common problem that will ever expand with the increasing growth of the internet economy in the world. There is no way the internet can function without an efficient and effective search engine. And this is the foresight which allowed Google to multiply its success with more than 100 zeros of pages. So that's how the story came about, how GOOGOL became Google. So let's move forward. Cut to 2005. That was the time when Google realized that it needed an operating system with which it can be available across multiple devices on planet Earth, because they lacked an operating system. Until then, it was Microsoft Explorer from Microsoft and other browsers and other operating systems which were available, which meant that Google had to depend on these operating systems in order to be installed on various devices in the world. So in 2005, they invested in Android. Android operating system was acquired by Google, and as luck would have it, in 2008, T-Mobile launched a handset called G1, a mobile handset, which was the world's first Android operating system based phone. So 2008 marked the beginning of Android operated phones, and by 2010 almost 17.2% of the market share in North America were Android phones, Android operating system phones. And after that, there was no looking back for Google, because now you could have an internet connected phone where you could search whatever results you want off the internet using Google Android. And as we speak, Google now becomes the globe's intelligent platform, aspiring to be the operating system even in the age of Internet of Things, even into mobile cars or connected cars. And they are already having an automotive Android version which is installed in more than 300 car platforms, and globally they claim more than 3 billion devices connected to Google Android at any given point in time. This is brilliant and this is very powerful. Many lessons to learn from this success, and Google never fails to invent every single year. Many of their innovations and inventions have succeeded, some have not, but that is the journey of entrepreneurship and business and life. So that's how Android became a key X factor in allowing Google to truly becoming the operating system of the internet, because Android is the OS of majority of mobile devices around the world. And if you look at how the internet works today in the world, it is getting even more complex and even more interesting for Google to continue to solve optimization problems and continue to scale using its intelligence that is investing in its platform. So the question to ask then is, what is the internet? Well, let's take a look. The anatomy of the internet. To begin with, the internet has many participating units, and those participating units are called as servers. The server may be located anywhere in the world. So let's first understand, for example, in a particular country like North America, you have servers located in various geographic locations by various companies, both public and private. And these servers are connected to each other via a web link, or can be accessible to each other via a web link, a URL if you will, a universal resource locator, which in English would turn out to be as www.google.com, www.yahoo.com, www.newyorktimes.com, whatever, right? And hypertext markup language, HTML web pages, allow for communication over the web, over the internet, between these servers. So servers are speaking to each other to produce the results that you are seeking on the internet web page. And these servers are connected to each other and are accessible to each other using the web links. Now let's ask, what is within each server? Each server again contains hundreds of thousands of web pages. These web pages are belonging to one company or many companies. And that's how each server becomes a node, if you will, within the World Wide Web. Literally complex, matrixed, but always interconnected. And this set of matrix network of servers within the US is again connected through intercontinental data pipes across all other continents. For example, Asia, Europe, Russia, Australia, New Zealand, South America, and of course, China. Though in China, many of the internet traffic is highly restricted. In fact, Google as a black hole in China is not available in China directly. So also YouTube. Anyway, so this is the overview of the internet. And as this complexity increases, as the internet becomes a living organism, because billions of people are using this so-called operating system of human life, and because you're using it every day, 24/7, 365 days, someone is using the internet somewhere in the world, Google platforms are becoming more and more intelligent. How are they becoming intelligent? Because today they have invested in TensorFlow processing units, TPUs, which are the neurons or the nerve cells of the intelligence on the Google platform, on the Google servers all over the world. And these TPUs are doing multiple calculations every microsecond. They are learning from the search results that we are asking of it. They are learning from the consumer search behavior patterns, the browsing patterns. They're learning from the device usage patterns. They are learning from how you use your laptop, your smartphone, your computer at office, whatever device you have. And as they're learning these and recognizing the patterns, they are self-correcting. They are beginning to predict much better. And these prediction accuracies are only increasing. Therefore, TPUs are becoming the intelligent neurons of the Google platform. And this journey will only continue. Google will become more and more important in our lives. And if Google succeeds in getting into the moving devices of the world and the cars of the world and trucks of the world and buses of the world, then there would be true integration, seamless integration of the smartphone, Android smartphone, into all of these automated vehicles. Life is going to be a lot more interesting as we step into the future. So that, my friends, was the conversion of GOOGOL to Google. I hope you liked the story, and I hope you got some insights and you enjoyed learning. I enjoyed presenting this to you. Thank you.